All right, guys, so in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the maintenance and replacement items I did on this 99 Dodge Ram to get ready to tow this camper. This camper's a 2020 Volante Crossroads 32 SB, and from hitch all the way to the tail, it's about 37 feet. The gross vehicle weight rating on this thing is actually 9750. So I mean, everything on this right now, the hitch weight is about 950 pounds, and the truck is rated for 10,000 pounds on the rear and then 1,000 pounds hitch weight. So basically this camper is right at the max of the truck per Dodge. Not saying it can't tow more, but per Dodge, that's the ratings. So a couple things I actually did on this truck to get it ready was a lot of key maintenance items. So I started with the differentials. I did the front and rear, both synthetic. I think 75/90 in the front, and then 75/140 in the rear. And the first time I did it was Mobile 1. The second time it was actually the Valvoline, both of them full synthetic with the limited slip. That's just how they all come now. And the two biggest weak factors on this platform right here, the 99, the second gen, is the fuel system, VP44, and the lift pump. And then the second problem is the transmission. That's probably the biggest weak link this generation has on these trucks. So for the transmission, I have a built transmission, and then I have a high-tech pan, and then synthetic fluid, ATF4 of course, and a Suncoast shift kit. So transmission does very well. As far as the fuel system, it has a fast 150, so the older style without the filters. And the fast 150 has actually been very, very reliable so far. So I haven't had any issues. Let's see if I can put it up here and show it to you. Yep, and that's the fast 150 right there. So like I said, that's the older style, but it's been very, very reliable. On these trucks, one thing you definitely want to check before you go anywhere is going to be your hitch. So on these older trucks, I mean, the hitch is 20 years old. So you want to check it for cracks, for rust, and just make sure it's in good shape. And like I said, for this camper, I'm actually really close to the maximums for this hitch, 10,000 and 1,000 tongue. And I do use a weight distribution hitch, but one of the next upgrades I'm going to be making is actually going to be a new hitch. Probably get a class 4, class 5 hitch. Some of the performance upgrades on here, alongside with the transmission and the fast pump, MBRP exhaust, and then Bilstein shocks. I don't know if you can really see them from here. And then all the tires are E-rated, of course. And it's pretty much time to replace these. I mean, these got about 60,000 miles on them. Along with some of the other maintenance I did, of course, the fuel filter. I do that pretty much every oil change. And I try to change the oil between, depending on how much driving I do and how much towing, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10,000 miles. And these things aren't picky with the oil. So whatever kind of oil you want to use, whether it's regular Dino oil or synthetic, doesn't matter. I run Shell Rotella, the 1540 synthetic, and it's worked out pretty good. Before they came out the 1540 version, the synthetic version, I ran the 540, and it all has been good. But yeah, so other than that, changing the oil, the fuel filters, keeping the transmission serviced, the differentials, the transfer case, it actually has ATF4 in it as well, Mobile 1 synthetic. But other than that, like I said, just making sure everything's well kept and ready to go. Air filters nice and clean, oiled. As far as cooling on this thing, everything is original and factory. On these second gens, one of the big things you got to do to make sure it stays cool is actually clean this radiator out. They're known to get, crudted up, oil, dirt, deposits, bugs, everything. So I usually take a hose with a pressure sprayer and just spray it all out. The next time I do a coolant service, I'm actually gonna pull it out and spray it down. But that goes for the coolers too. So the transmission cooler and the oil cooler, and even for your AC, just keep everything clean and sprayed off. You see this is all original, so it's got some dings in it. But as far as dirt and debris and stuff, it's all pretty clean. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I've done so far to ensure that it was ready to tow this thing. Like I said, it's 20 years old, it's 250,000 miles. And maintenance is very, very key if you're gonna use an older truck to tow something big and heavy like this. Like I said, 37 feet, just under 10,000 pounds. Oh yeah, one more thing. So gauges, these trucks, I almost say it's mandatory to have gauges. So the two gauges I have is a fuel gauge and a trans temp. And like I said, those are almost mandatory in these trucks. When you have like a fast pump, you have a little more reliability, but even the fast pumps and the Bulldog pumps are known to go out. So trans temp, especially when you're towing, we tow a lot through hill country. We towed pretty much from coast to coast, from South Texas coast and up, and you run into all kinds of hills. And it's good to be able to monitor your trans temp and make sure everything's staying normal. With the trans setup I have now, it stays right around 180 degrees. And my fuel pressure is set at 20 PSI, so that doesn't change. But like I said, those are like two mandatory gauges you should probably have if you own a second gen Cummins. Other than that, if your truck is maintained and everything else looks good, you shouldn't have any problems towing something of this size or big. And a lot of people, they try to tow fifth wheels and they don't have any problems with these trucks, but they run out of payload really quick. So for me, I like the travel trailer setup. I like the weight distribution hitch I have. It tows very smooth. I have no problem going 70 miles an hour. I try to keep it at 65, but I also try to maintain 65 just to be on the safe side. If something happens, you know, the 99 has drum brakes in the back, disc in the front. So we rely on the trailer brakes to stop it when it's this much weight. But like I said, with something this old, you just want to take your time, make sure everything is good on the truck, make sure your trailer's ready to go, and try not to bust any limits. I know a lot of people do, but that's just my advice. So I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, comments, anything about the trailer or the truck, or what kind of weight distribution hitch I use, or just anything, just drop it down in the comments and I'll reply back to you. Thanks for watching.